Welcome back. This is your host Apollo. This is the Falcon the Winter Soldier episode 5 podcast. This right here is a voiceover because the original podcast was taken down by Disney. We used some of their footage to illustrate some of the things that we were saying, and unfortunately, that was a big no-no on in their perspective. So, yeah, we're just re-uploading it without their footage, and hope you enjoy the podcast. Thank you.
Hello, welcome back to your Chaotic Corp Season 3, Episode 5. I am your host, Jordan.
I'm your co-host, Apollo.
Along with Alpha, returning guest.
Hello, everybody.
And we also have another returning guest, Mr. Scott here.
Hello, people of the internet. Glad to be here.
All right.
Yeah, we just watched the 5th episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Not at all what I thought it would be, but it was still a pretty good episode so far.
It was very, I don't want to say dramatic, but this episode gave me, feelings that I never thought I would feel, if that makes sense. It
does make sense.
I got a lot from this episode. Let's just put it that way.
I agree.
We have it starting out with Walker. He's running from what he just did. Who knows how far he ran, but he ran pretty dang far. And he's going through his head about the crimes that he just committed on foreign soil, mind you. He killed someone on foreign soil. He's a USA agent, pun intended.
I love that.
But he's gonna get in some big trouble. And then the scene pans off, and then you see Bucky and Sam. They followed him into this warehouse, and then they're trying to just talk to him and saying what you did was wrong. You're gonna have to give me that shield. And keep in mind he's kind of losing it a little bit more each episode. At this point, he's a little bit too far gone, and then he's just like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do." And then this fight just breaks out because he doesn't want to let go of that. He still thinks that he's in the right somehow. He doesn't think what he did was wrong. So this entire fight just breaks out. It was pretty crazy. It was a really cool fight scene, actually.
It was. It reminded me of the fight scene between Iron Man and Bucky and Captain America in Civil War. It was like man versus machine versus, it was really great. Great choreography, too.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah, it was pretty great fight scene, but I feel like it was over a little too quickly. It happened at the very beginning of the episode. And it just felt like there was supposed to be a build up to that fight, Yeah. There was. We had 3 episodes building up to it, but the way it was, we just went into this. There's no build up. It was straight up into. Well, I guess there was a little bit of build up, hey, give me the shield. You need to stop. You're going insane. Please stop.
Please.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry,
but as compared to a hour-long episode where you have that much to build up a fight, and the fight is only built up about probably 2 minutes until it starts. It wasn't bad. It was just it just felt like there wasn't too much build up into it.
Real quick, I actually do kind of agree how they put the fight in because there wouldn't be any reason for a build up. Walker knows what he did, but he's not gonna own up to it. And both Sam and Bucky knew what they had to do, and they wasn't just going to wait. I mean, they saw the opportunity, and they took the opportunity just to take the shield from him because they knew what he did was all the way wrong, and they wasn't just going to let him walk away with the shield just after that. In my opinion, that fight didn't need any type of build up. It just listen, you did something wrong. Give us the shield. We're going to set things right.
Well, it's just the common practice in storytelling is that you have the build up and the payoff, and it just felt like that the fight in that episode was a payoff, and the rest of the episode was a build up. Now, the rest of this episode is a build up to the payoff of our last episode, episode 6. So, it's not like the rest of the episode being a build-up is a bad thing. It just felt kind of weird that we got 2 minutes of a build-up and then a 5-minute fight, which was the payoff. And then the rest of the episode was a build-up to, the finale.
Yeah, I feel that. I really like when he was in Sam's face and he was yelling, "I am Captain America," and then he just continues to rip off the wings. I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, dude, that was insane.
I was so upset that he ripped off the wings. I'm like, they can fix them, but no.
And then when he raised the shield up, I knew something was going to happen. For example, Bucky spear tackling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Captain America, that was great.
Yeah.
But also, I did love the end where Bucky just took the shield, walked over the Sam, and dropped it right next to his head. I'm like, you know what you did? You made a mistake. You need to take the shield. It's not his.
Cap gave it to you. Cap gave it to you. Like, you should be the one to hold it. In all honesty, I would have thought Bucky would have snapped after hearing him say, "I am Captain America."
Maybe he did.
He would just completely use that arm of his to just well on his face.
I have to say though, I love the characterization of Walker in this show, because you really, throughout this series, instead of him playing a really minor role, he really develops into this very unique portrayal of a lot of American veterans and soldiers who have done all they can for the country, but then get disregarded and dishonest. And I like that they bring in a special character, which I was not expecting. It goes against all my theories that I told Jordan about. That happens after the court. I'm gonna call it the courtroom scene, essentially. Yeah. I love that they picked Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Lady Hydra. I think she's an excellent choice, and she is the one who kind of resurrects and brings together Hydra from all of its broken into many pieces, and she's kind of the one reforming it. And essentially what they're going to do is they're going to brainwash John Walker, and they've kind of already started with him, and essentially going to turn him into their version of Captain America, being the U.S. agent.
Our next scene, after the whole fight scene that I really liked, we see Zemo, and we see where he went. It's the memorial for Sokovia, like he mentioned in the, I think it was episode 3. And I thought maybe they were going to show us a little bit more, maybe a giant hole in the earth where the whole city used to be. I thought maybe they were going to show us that, but they didn't. It was just a statue. So then you see Bucky standing next to him. Bucky's got a gun, and you're thinking maybe he might need to cross a name off his list, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I thought... Oh, keep going, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you thinking?
And I thought that Zemo, the way he was talking to him and Bucky, that there was still some control he had over him. There was still a last card to pull with him, because he even says, "That's not how I would have done it," or something along those lines. It's so continue.
I like how he said, or first I should say, he pulls up the gun on Zemo, and then he pulls the trigger, but doesn't go off because he took out the bullets. I feel like Bucky kind of needed that, because in his, deep in him, he wanted to. Deep in his mind, he wanted to, or his emotions, I guess, he wanted to kill Zemo for the crap that he did to him in Civil War. So I feel like he kind of needed that. And then he pulls out his left arm, or his hand, holds it up, and then opens his fist, and it's all the bullets, they just drop to the ground. And then you see the Dora Milaje come up behind him, and they finally got a hold of him. And Zemo says that he crossed off his name off of his list, and he thought that maybe he would kill him. He was expecting him to kill him.
He was. He was not surprised at all.
He wasn't surprised, because I feel like Zemo maybe knew that he deserved it too, because in the end of Civil War, he knew what he did was bad, but in his eyes, all he really wanted was revenge for his whole family not
Yeah,
saved.
he blamed.
You know, they were killed.
Yeah, he blamed the Avengers for what happened to his family. He just wanted to tear them apart through Bucky.
Right. He wanted revenge
because he knew Bucky was one of the only people that Cap cared about from his past.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only one who actually survived his past. Because remember,
Right.
Captain America was pretty old.
Past. Yeah, because like the Howling Commandos, like they're all either just all dead or just like really old. Peggy, dies. She died. She died in Civil War. If y'all didn't know, like her funeral scene. And then like Bucky's like the last person from his past that basically survived World War II.
Right.
Yeah, you can understand why Cap would stand up for Bucky.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, in many ways.
Go ahead, Scott. What were we gonna say?
I was saying, like, continuing on. The interesting part about that scene was the hand that was holding the bullets was his mechanical one and not his human hand. I thought that was a nice little touch because that's the hand you associate with death and with him killing people with.
And that is actually a really nice touch. We see Walker talking with Lamar's family, and I'm just losing it here at this point because I'm like, why are you lying to these people?
That was actually me. I was living
right.
because he was lying.
I don't think they know that he killed somebody. Maybe they do.
No, they do know.
They do know. They saw the video, but like they don't know that wasn't the person that Walker killed. So basically, like Walker just killed in like not completely innocent criminal, just like a criminal that didn't kill anybody. That wasn't a murderer.
And because of that, they're now, because of his killing, Carly and her whole Flag Smasher group is getting much more violent. They're going to start, bombing places. They're really going to turn up.
Then we see that, Batroc comes back, not dead.
Batroc
never died.
Yes, he is the Leaper.
I just placed that in my head. He is. I don't know why I didn't think about that before.
Guess who frees him, though? It's Sharon Carter.
It's Sharon. I'm still on edge about that. I don't know what to think about that. I think maybe we'll figure it out later, or maybe it's going to play into a bigger...
I have a couple of theories about that. We'll get into that a little bit later, because we got to talk about the crazy bromance boat scene that happened.
Right. Well, I mean, I just wanted to point out, you said clearly they're getting a lot more violent. I think she's straying away. At first, I was kind of with her on her...
mission?
Yeah, her mission, yeah, because it made sense, right?
It did.
We talked about that before. But now you're going to use weapons to hurt more people when you shouldn't be hurting anyone in the first place. I get it. Some people died before, but, like, now you're doing it intentionally,
Yeah.
So...
And since she's younger and she doesn't really know much, she's going to act out more. And she's, she doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? Her intentions are somewhat in the right. That she wants to care for her people. Yeah. She wants to care for people. She wants to take care of them. But the way she's doing it is now she's starting to turn.
It's one thing if you kill people that are in your way. But if it's another if you just kill people that aren't even in your way, You start killing people before they even have a chance to be in your way, and that's going to cause an issue. You know what I mean?
Let's move on. Unless you guys have more points to say, I don't want to cut anybody off here.
No, go ahead. Can we talk about that scene where they're literally just playing like catch with the shield?
Oh, I love that. That was funny. That was fun.
They're kind of just practice throwing it because now they got the shield back and they taped padding to the trees.
Yeah.
So they're just throwing it and catching it. I thought that was kind of funny, and then Bucky starts talking about his feelings a little bit while I think a lot of people forgot that Sam used to be a therapist for military personnel. He wouldn't really open up to his own therapist, so here he is opening up to Sam. You know?
Yeah, because that's somebody that that Bucky actually knows, and those two have one thing in common. They both looked up to Captain America as someone called family,
That's exactly
or even a best friend. Yeah,
he said that shield represents family.
Bucky. Yeah, Bucky. Besides that shield, Bucky has nobody else in his life anymore.
It's really upsetting to think about. That scene kind of upset me.
It is. It's
just
sad.
Thinking about that.
Yeah, you just think about all the stuff he's went. I'm sorry, Scott.
No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay, you just think about all the stuff that Bucky went through. People thought he died. People thought he died in World War II. He was tortured and brainwashed by Hydra for 70 years. He came back brainwashed as the Winter Soldier. He remembers everything. Then he's framed a fugitive, and then he goes to Wakanda to find peace, only to be dragged into another war. He gets snapped out of existence, and he comes back in, and then Cap gets old and then dies of old age, and the shield is all he has left, and you can kind of feel for Bucky for when Sam gave it to the government, which was a completely idiotic move.
Anyway, and to that point, I feel like Steve too felt that way a lot. He felt like that the shield was the only thing because there's a time period that the movies don't really cover that it was just Cap. It was just him. He had shield, he had the Avengers, but he had nobody he could really relate to. I think that's similar to what Bucky's going through
probably
right now.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because they're both out of time.
I think probably my favorite part of this whole show was watching Sam literally start training to become Captain America. He was going through this whole thing when he was fixing the boat and all, trying to figure out should he even take up the mantle because of everything that he had all that stuff that Isaiah was saying to him stuck in his head. No one wants to see a black Captain America, but that's just because Isaiah had it rough. It that may not even be true. And Sam was trying to get him out of the house, being like, you gotta go out in the world, introduce yourself, and I guarantee things might be different. So I get that he was trying to help Isaiah, and then he just goes ahead and is like, I'm going to do it. And he just starts training. And he literally multiple times almost decapitates himself with that shield. That was I'm like, bro, you need to chill out.
Jordan, go back to what you said about Isaiah. In a way, he was kind of right. The world, because we saw in a previous episode, two cops even recognized Sam as Falcon.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
And they asked Bucky, white guy, hey, is this man bothering you? So.
Yeah, so he was ultimately right. But still, you gotta respect Bucky for just at least trying.
Right.
Because if the government ain't going to do it, you might as well fine. I'll do it myself.
And then we finally get to the last credit scene.
Oh, that's my favorite. I was going to talk about that.
Go ahead, Scott.
So I've been predicting this since day one. Just want to point that out there. But I'm so glad to see them actually going to put John Walker in his black and red suit and have him become U.S. agent. I really enjoyed John Walker's characterization in this. As I said before, I think it really highlights veterans, the misuse of that, how a lot of veterans, especially during Vietnam, were essentially just thrown aside and not given, they were just thrown aside, not given any benefits, treated like garbage and all. And I thought an interesting line that he says was, you don't know what it's like. And they don't. They will never know what it's like.
Know, but neither does he.
Exactly, that's the problem. He is a soldier. He is a soldier. He's not Steve Rogers. And the thing that keeps him away from ultimately becoming Captain America is that his character, his moral code, you could say, his characteristics. Because you look at Isaiah, you look at Sam, and you look at Steve. There's one thing connecting all of them. not besides Captain America. It's their morals. These guys, they're strong, they're loyal, they're kind, compassionate. I mean, they're just like pillars of like how humanity should be. You know, these guys know how it is. They're rough and tough, and they ultimately get it through.
And to like point out something, like I knew from like for a long time that Hydra was still alive. I did not believe that they were dead after Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, you can't. Oh yeah, like
yeah, after like
evil, that's just like a trope, man. All those evil organizations, they ain't going away.
I didn't think that they were dead. I just think since the snap, they were definitely very disorganized. So
they were just in hiding. They were just in hiding.
They were in hiding, but they were also very disorganized. You know,
absolutely.
Like half of their team, if not all of them, because it was mostly random people, were disappearing. You know, so it was almost as if they like literally did just stop operating, you know, and then they finally came back, and then they're trying to get the gears rolling again, and now like, we've got a new head, which Scott, you mentioned her before,
Lady Hydra, or that,
yeah.
I don't think that's her official name, but that's what I'm going to call her.
Who was Lady Hydra in the comic book, Scott?
So what happens is I haven't read too many Captain America books, but the ones I have read is she comes in and she's like this new, like she's like the new strong arm of the Hydra. So you know how like Darth Vader was like the Iron Fist of the Empire? She's like that for Hydra. She'll come in and she'll do whatever it takes. Now in this role, she's taking on more of a leader where she'll get stuff done and use John as like the Iron Fist of Hydra, the enforcer, as you will.
So basically she's like Darth Sidious.
Exactly, yeah. She's the Palpatine and he's Darth Vader.
Yeah. My version of Lady Hydra is like she's like an ancestor to like Red Skull in some way.
That could be a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she'd have to be. I don't know though. I don't know about Red Skull and his past life.
Not like a granddaughter or anything, but like more like either it could be like a niece or like a long cousin
like
or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's definitely some connection there.
Yeah, and, not saying like granddaughter and grandfather ancestor. Yeah. Or somebody that actually looked up to Red Skull, wanted to following his movements or something like that.
Yeah. Tristan, what was your favorite scene?
Oh, my favorite scene was probably the fight scene. It was a good payoff from like the last like 4 episodes. Yeah, I'm very disorganized right now.
No, you're good. You're good.
I have to say the fight scene too. Like I was waiting until for the right moment. Like once Bucky said in one of the previous episodes, like let's just take the shield. Like I'm so glad that they finally did it. I also have another favorite scene. I'm going to have to say like the whole montage of them fixing the boat was also my favorite scene because like you don't see that many wholesome moments in Marvel these days. Like this them fixing the boats.
I like that too.
Type of things, yeah.
Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah, and also the whole training montage with Sam training with the shield.
Yeah,
that was also pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Also, basically, your favorite scene was the entire episode.
Got me there. But also like, you know, when Carly was also like coming like getting aid from Backtrack for like a new uprising they're starting, trying to take out the senators. Also, like in the background, you see a bunch of people in a picnic, and they all join up and like, oh, they're all with her. They're all members of the Flag Smashers. That was something cool. Kind of remind me of like an Assassin's Creed moment where like all members of the Creed come out of the crowd.
I don't think they were members of her organization.
No.
I think they just more or less believed in her journey and her mission, so that they want to help her. So I don't think they were really a part of her team. I just think that they,
like we already know, like
people would give them shelter. People would give them shelter.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's more like that kind of a situation.
The only members of the Flag Smashers are like just super soldiers, people who took the super soldier serum.
The way I view that scene is Jordan. You remember that scene? I haven't seen a lot of Kingsman. And Tristan, you actually probably can weigh on this one too.
Oh, I definitely
remember that, like, you know that scene where like the people get like in control, like they get taken over.
The church scene.
That's what I was thinking.
That was one of my favorite scenes from that movie.
Like, this is not like them willingly want to do it. This is like them being brainwashed and like being forced in it. That's how I view it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably would have seen something on the phones if it was actually brainwashing.
Well, remember that very first episode, there was like that phone app thing that they all were looking at, and he talked about the giant blips and like communications and all that.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something technologically going on. It may not be brainwashing 100%, but there's definitely something behind the scenes.
It's brainwashing. I don't know.
Yeah, it really. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that like that underground group like the Flag Smashers or whatever will come with the idea of monitors. That had to be like high tech, top tier, like a top tier organization.
That's more like Hydra, honestly.
Yeah, that's Hydra. That's Hydra, honestly. That's basically Hydra's move. Like that, I don't think the Flag Smashers will come up with something like that. Like I know.
They did bomb a building.
Yeah,
that's true.
They're organized to make bombs and stuff. I don't think no disrespect to them. I don't think they're smart enough to come do mind control or anything.
I don't think that's their
motive.
To make bombs, but okay.
Carla made bombs to make a point, make an example.
I don't think she made them. I think she just literally set explosives on a car or something. Well,
one of the only people that can keep her in shit that can just rein her in is now dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we see more. Good
point.
Yeah, we see more scenes with those two in this series than she had with any other people, because Carla opened up to him the most, and now that she's dead, she has nobody to keep her in check. Mostly nobody to keep her in check, but just keep her in rein. And in the last episode, it looked like Bucky was not Bucky. I'm sorry, Sam was actually getting through to Carla while he was talking, and then Walker came in and just screwed everything up.
Yeah, he just kind of came in.
Yeah,
Walker.
Walker
screwing up stuff.
Yeah. Walker, in a way, he forgot that this criminal was still just a kid. He just didn't care. He just didn't care.
Yeah,
that's how
doesn't.
I put it. Yeah,
he is very mission and very focused.
That she was just a kid, and she still didn't understand much yet.
He truly is a soldier because he's mission first, nothing else.
Man, you wonder what I call that? I call that a robot. I call that a freaking robot. Cap, he wasn't a robot. He followed orders, but he did his own thing.
Well, very interesting thing about Cap was at first he was all for serving the government and all that. And by the time Civil War rolls around, he's against that.
Yeah, because he saw firsthand that Hydra instantly took over S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra took over S.H.I.E.L.D. for 7 years.
Yeah,
he saw firsthand that people could be controlling the government, and now all of this, he doesn't even trust the government anymore.
Well, that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can follow me. We stream on Twitch from time to time. You can follow me at twitch.tv/hotpocket61. You can follow Tristan at twitch.tv/ApolloYourKing. He also streams on our YouTube page, Chaotic Corp. please give us a like and a subscribe. Appreciate it. Tristan, you want to throw in Alpha's credentials there?
Yeah, Alpha has his own YouTube channel, Alpha Scored 62. That will be up on a card and also in the description below.
I tried to post on weekends.
Yeah,
he tries to post on weekends, guys.
He tries to post. If you're listening on Spotify or anything, this whole podcast is more based on YouTube and all that. We have a whole channel. Chances are you're probably listening on YouTube anyhow. I've been trying to put us back on Spotify, but yeah,
I need to make a few phone calls then.
Yeah, Scott, get on that. I told you to get on that
Scott,
2 weeks ago.
Literally our manager. We pay you, so
yeah, literally, we
pay me the $1 we get per video.
This Scott's the manager. Like, shouldn't he like be the only one running? It's like you guys do most of the work. Like he plans everything.
That's
really?
Okay. Anyways,
thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great night and stay safe.
All right, thanks, guys.
Stay healthy.